and the omnibus. So I was forced into the Archers when I was a child. And look, it's come back to bite me later on. I'm awash with this stuff.
The Archers is the world's longest-running radio show, with more than 15,000 episodes broadcast. Despite being a rural flavor show, The Archers is recorded in the heart of...
Okay, so imagine this. A seemingly normal day at work, and then bam, news hits that just changes everything. That's sort of the unexpected twist our Duck Dive explores today. We're digging into an audio excerpt from The Archers. It's this long-running audio drama, gives you a real slice of life from a pretty close-knit rural community. We're going to use these moments almost like a case study, trying to unpack the really intricate web of relationships and challenges that pop up. Our mission really is to pull out some key insights into things like communication breakdowns, leadership dilemmas, and just the unexpected ways life shifts when big decisions get made. You'll hopefully get a richer understanding of how personal and professional worlds collide and what happens when someone decides it's genuinely time to move on.
For good.
So let's dive in. The whole thing kicks off with what you could call a bombshell at home farm. Stella, who's a key employee there, hasn't just taken a few days off. Pip, another worker, she's, quote, adamant that she's actually quit.
Right. Complete shock for Adam, another colleague. He just can't believe it.
Yeah, disbelief. And then Brian, who's the farm patriarch, Stella's boss, he immediately tries to sort of wave it away as flooding.
Flooding. That's Kate's term, isn't it? For when he says things impulsively, emotionally.
Exactly. Things he might regret later. So it straight away signals he's maybe minimizing how serious this is.
It feels like an immediate attempt at damage control, doesn't it? And what's fascinating is how quickly Brian then tries to smooth things over. He actually calls Stella, like, really early in the morning.
Wakes her up, yeah.
Wakes her up. Trying to set up a meeting. First, he offers lunch at the Bull, the pub. She says no. Then he pushes for just a quick, 10-minute meeting at her bungalow.
It really makes you wonder, is he actually trying to reconcile, or is this more about just managing the fallout?
That's the core question, isn't it? And their conversation, well, it sheds some light. Brian does apologize. He says sorry for his unwarranted reaction about the harvest, admits his pride was hurt. He even acknowledges he pushed her to the edge, praises her skills, says he wants to be friends. He's clearly trying hard.
Pulling out all the stops, maybe.
Seems like it. But Stella's response, it's completely unwavering. She accepts the apology, okay, and hope for friendship, fine. But she flat out says her decision is final.
Wow. So no amount of offers? Like
Yep.
more money? Flexible holidays?
Nope. She rejects offers of increased salary, flexible holidays, even more management control. Her plans are simple. She says, a few weeks off, get a new dog, and then start looking for other opportunities.
A new dog.
Right.
Yeah.
And Brian's left kind of admitting, I've really messed up, haven't I? Which suggests, I think, her decision wasn't about terms and conditions.
It was about something deeper.
Exactly. About the fundamental disrespect, perhaps.
Okay, so Brian's attempts fail.
Hmm.
But he's not the only one who tries to step in, right? Adam gets involved next.
Mm-hmm. Adam, yeah. He seems to be acting maybe partly on Brian's behalf.
It seems that way.
Yeah.
He runs into Pip and Stella at Great Gables, says he's just spoken to Brian, and he immediately tries to get Stella to reconsider. He mentions Brian's distress, even throws in the fact that Kate's moving out. Like piling on the guilt, maybe?
A little bit, yeah. But Stella's response to Adam, this is where it gets really interesting. It pulls back the curtain.
How so?
Well, she gives Adam this really firm, direct no. She says the answer is no, just like the answer I gave to Brian this afternoon. Crystal clear. But then, crucially, she reveals the core reason. She tells Adam exactly what Brian said to her on Friday.
Ah, the specifics.
The specifics Brian conveniently left out. She says he called her incompetent and claimed she had lost her mind.
That's harsh.
It is. And Adam's surprise is palpable. It tells you Brian definitely didn't mention that part.
So Brian's whole reconciliation attempt was based on, like, a half-truth.
Pretty much. He withheld the severity of his own insults. And Stella, she clarifies the notice thing too, saying, I have leaved you, that covers my notice, and Brian is perfectly aware of that.
Making it clear she's followed procedure even after being insulted.
Precisely. And if you connect this to the bigger picture, like you said, Stella's decision isn't just about a job anymore. It's fundamentally about respect.
Yeah.
dignity. The revelation of Brian's actual words, the ones he omitted, it just highlights how vital that direct communication and, frankly, accountability are.
Yeah, in any relationship, professional or personal.
Absolutely. It's not just the insults themselves, but the lack of transparency afterwards. It really cements the divide, I think. Stella's calm but completely firm stance just shows that some lines, once you cross them, they're incredibly hard to uncross no matter how sorry you say you are later.
Right. And the fallout, it doesn't just stay at home farm, does it? It really ripples through Brian's personal life, too.
Big time.
He has this really candid chat with his daughter, Kate. He admits feeling vulnerable even past it.
That's quite a confession for someone like Brian.
It is. He explicitly says Stella quitting is a complete and utter mess and all of my own making. And he connects it to other recent struggles, too. Peggy dying, all this nonsense with Justin. It paints this picture of a man really feeling the pressure.
Buckling under it, yeah. The accumulated stress.
And speaking of those ripple effects, Kate's life takes a big unexpected turn because of all this.
It really does. She was so enthusiastic, wasn't she, about her new start? Moving into Willow Farm with Kirsty.
Yeah, totally ready for a fresh chapter.
And initially, Kirsty had a few little worries. Maybe Kate would be too bossy or wouldn't feel like home.
Yeah.
But Kate had promised, minimal changes. And she'd actually gone ahead and totally redecorated the living room.
Oh yeah, the description was great. Warm rural library meets Swedish chic.
Colorful and cozy. She even made homemade vegan cinnamon rolls and tea. Her excitement was obvious. She said something like, "His loss is definitely my gain," referring to whoever lived there before.
But then,
Yeah.
plot twist.
Big plot twist. Kate suddenly decides to push things back. She's not moving in. Not right now, anyways.
Because she's worried about her dad. About him feeling vulnerable.
Exactly that. Her concern for her father completely overrides her own exciting plans.
Wow, that really makes you think, doesn't it? How often our sort of personal obligations or worries just derail even the best laid plans?
It's a huge sacrifice for Kate, considering how much she was looking forward to it, and it demonstrates really clearly the immediate human cost of Brian's actions. One big professional mess-up triggers these intensely personal shifts for others.
Yeah, the domino effect. And it's not just the main characters, is it? There are hints of wider community changes, too.
That's right. There's that little detail about the village shop potentially moving into the church.
Because Susan, who runs it, is just wrecked from trying to make it work in the current spot.
It's a small thing in the grand scheme of the episode, maybe, but it reminds you that these individual dramas happen against a backdrop of ongoing community life, Institutions adapting, needs changing.
Good point. But while all this fallout is happening, Stella herself seems to be, well, moving on quite decisively.
Oh, definitely. She's not just sitting around. We hear about her magnificent garden. She's out picking black currants.
It doesn't sound like just killing time. It sounds like she's actively embracing a different pace, a different rhythm.
I think so too. It's a deliberate shift towards things she values more now. There's that funny bit where she muses about making jam, all the special pans, huge thermometers, mysterious sauces.
Yeah, the complexity of it all.
And then she decides, nah, blackcurrant cheesecake sounds much easier.
Huh. A simpler pleasure.
Exactly. It's a lovely little sign she's seeking enjoyment, reclaiming her time after the stress of home farm.
And she's not isolating herself either. We see her with Pip at Great Gables, seeking some relaxation.
Right, enjoying a swim, a spa, just unwinding.
And there's that very normal, relatable moment about the juices. Stella not liking her beetroot and kale one.
Yeah. Preferring Pip's orange and carrot. It's those little human details, isn't it?
It provides such a contrast to all the heavy drama surrounding Brian and the farm.
It really does. It shows Stella embracing the freedom her decision has given her, finding satisfaction outside of that intense work environment. She's already moving forward.
Okay, so as we start to wrap up this deep dive, what are the main takeaways here? We've sort of unpacked the fallout from really poor communication, unresolved conflict.
Definitely. And the burden that leadership can bring, especially when mistakes are made.
Yeah, and that complex interplay between personal relationships and professional decisions. Plus, the resilience you need to actually move forward when things get shaken up.
Resilience on all sides, really. Even Brian's struggling, in his own way.
True. So why should you, listening, care about these moments from a fictional village? Well, because these dynamics we've talked about that struggle for control, the sheer impact of words, finding the balance between your own space and supporting others, these play out everywhere.
In our own lives, yeah. Our workplaces, our communities, every single day.
You've heard how just one decision, one conflict, can trigger this whole cascade of changes, and how even people trying to help, like Adam maybe, can sometimes miss the mark if they don't have the full picture.
Or if they misread the situation entirely.
Exactly. So as we finish up, here's something to maybe mull over. When someone says they're done, truly done, when is it just temporary? That flooding Brian talked about, something that could be walked back. And when is it actually a deeply considered final decision that just demands respect, full stop?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is. And what responsibilities do we have to ourselves and to others when we reach that point of no return? How do we even know for sure when we're there?
And how do we navigate the difference? It's tricky.
Something to think about.
So, what are you doing now?
Just getting ready for the next episode. Just
And,
moving mics around.
So, what do you do?
I do the spot effects on the arches. Any
Are you what we call Foley then?
kind of. Yep. That's,
Okay. And these are all part of the paraphernalia of production.
yep. That's the ball bar. That's,
This one.
yep. That's.
Haley so wanted to be in their own place when their baby came. It's due in 2 months. Not much chance of that now. No. I mean, it would have been a stretch for them financially, mind, but I just wish there was something practical I could do to help them, Caroline.
I think The Archers has had this immense popularity over the years, basically because it has always very accurately reflected the reality of life and living in a rural community, at whatever